Hey guys, in this video we're going to speak about the 5 main tips on how to level up your chanting, also known as Japa, meditation on beats. We attended a retreat in a humongous castle in the middle of Belgium, which is now a temple, by the amazing efforts of the Hare Krishnas. It's pretty impressive. We immersed ourselves in 5 full days of workshopping, kirtans, lectures, facilitated by His Holiness Sachinandan Swami, a saint from Germany that has given his life to understanding the science of Bhakti Yoga, and especially mantra chanting, under the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and the Gaudiya Acharyas. You guys will be shocked to know what we discovered. It's why we're here today sharing this experience with you. Now, a lot of us have been practicing spirituality since childhood. Some of us have been chanting for 5 years, maybe 10, 15 years. Many years have passed practicing mantra meditation and doing kirtans. But have we been able to make any progress? In the gym, we can tell by increased performance, strength levels. However, how can we measure our progress in bhakti? How can we tell whether the process is really working? And are we experiencing what the saints refer to as the pure living name? Hey y'all, Bhakti Bro Salute. If you guys want to know the secret to mantra chanting, there is a personality that is encoded within the mantra that you are chanting. Now that's the secret that most of us miss. It's in plain sight. We need to chant with such attention and focus that we evoke Krishna from this mantra, right? He's encoded within the mantra. But most of us were so inattentive. We're so spaced out while chanting, right? Our mind is in passive mode. We're just going, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. My task list, what do I have to do today? So that's the problem. And because of that, we're stagnant. Or we regress. We make offenses, right? But we don't advance. And most of us, for 15, 20 years chanting, we're still stuck in that same space. And we think, why isn't it working? One thing I want to share with you is that the name of Krishna is known as Nama Chintamani. Chinta means thought, and mani means jewel. So it's the thought jewel. Now, how does this thought jewel work? Most of you guys must have heard of something called the Sparsha Mani, the touchstone. It's very famous. It converts whatever it comes in contact with into gold, anything and everything. But this Chintamani, this thought stone, thought jewel, is a little different. It only works when your mind is focused, right? Then this thought jewel of Krishna's names will work. Otherwise, there's no effect whatsoever. It's just empty. So it's all about your inner orientation. What is your inner orientation when you're chanting the Maha Mantra? That's where it starts.
Okay guys, tip number 1, aligning the body. So you have to sit straight. A really good tip for this is, imagine that a string is pulling on your spine, just slightly. Yes, so align the body and now relax it. Tuck in your chin a little bit and you'll immediately see that there's a focus, there's an energy there now. You can really focus. There's this famous saying where they say that the mirror of the emotions or the mental state shows in your body. So yogis and practitioners that do yoga have been doing this practice for so long where they align the body. It's very important. You'll notice that the focusing energy is much more when you simply align the body. Tip number 2, chanting with the mind. Now, a really cool technique that I love is, imagine the mind, it's an observer sitting at the reception desk in a hotel. In a hotel, people, they come in and out of the hotel. Similarly, the mind, it comes in and out with different thoughts, different desires throughout the day. We have a lot of thoughts in a day. So just observing them from a distance, seeing how they come in and out, just like a receptionist watches people come in and out of a hotel, you'll notice these thoughts that the mind have is actually separate from you. You're an observer watching these things go on. So now that you can see that the mind is a tool, it's not you, but you're separate from it, you have to make sure that our mind is focused on the mantra. So just hearing every single syllable that we chant, and whenever you find that the mind is wandering, you just have to catch it, bring it back, and focus on the syllables of the mantra. Like guys, we don't understand how powerful mantras are. In the Mahabharata, Arjuna, Karna, all these great warriors, they used to call weapons through mantra. They used to hear the mantra, focus on it, and suddenly these astras from the demigods, from the higher planets, used to appear in their hands, and they used to shoot these weapons with their bows, and they used to be like nuclear weapons. More powerful than nuclear weapons. They used to destroy, they could destroy the planet with those weapons. That's the power of mantra, of, like my brother said, you're calling a personality, you're calling this divine being. So you're calling Krishna, but it only works when you put your mind to it. Chintamani only works when you focus. So tip number 1, align the body. Tip number 2, focus on the mantra.
Now, before we move on to tip number 3, we're going to talk a little bit about types of chanters. During the seminar, Maharaj talked about this, and it blew our minds because it allowed us to understand where we are. Sometimes we don't even know where we are. So it's good to know I have a problem. Oh my God, I'm this kind of chanter. I need to improve. There's 5 kinds of chanters. First kind of chanter is known as the committed chanter. And the committed chanter understands that there's a necessity for chanting, and he prioritizes his chanting. He makes it the most important thing, the most important part of his day. The second type of chanter is the inattentive chanter. He's committed, but he just tries to finish his rounds somehow or the other while driving to work, coming back home. He'll talk to his family and finish the last few rounds. So it's very inattentive, but he gets his rounds done. The third type of chanter is the lazy chanter. The lazy chanter, some days he's not feeling it, so he skips rounds. Sometimes it's interrupted rounds, but he doesn't always finish his set fixed number of rounds. Then we have the fourth type of chanter, the indifferent chanter. Now this chanter is apathetic. He neglects his practice. He doesn't chant his fixed number of rounds whatsoever. And at this point, he just does it because he's been told to do it. Now the fifth type of chanter, not any of us devotees that have been practicing for a couple of years, but there is a fifth type of chanter that is completely unaware of the necessity of chanting. This person just doesn't know that they have to chant in order to make any sort of spiritual advancement. They don't know that the way to progress on Bhakti Yoga is by chanting Hare Krishna. They have no clue about it. So there's different ways to improve for each level of chanter.
So if you're a committed chanter, you can establish a daily japa routine. So for example, the best time to chant is in the morning when nobody's awake, so super early. So try 3, 4, 5, just getting up super early and chanting your rounds in one sitting. That can be very helpful for you. Preparation, so you prepare the night before by sleeping early, maybe having something lighter rather than something heavy in your stomach, so that it's easy for you to get up, and having that routine there will improve the absorption of your chanting. For the inattentive chanter, what can help you is hearing more about Krishna. So hearing about Krishna will get you more attached to him, more attracted to him, so that will make your chanting more effective. You'll start putting feeling into your chanting. You'll even start enjoying your chanting more, because now you're starting to understand who it is we're chanting to, chanting about, glorifying. For the lazy chanter, you want to try and chant in the association of devotees. So find any temple, in any temple around 5 a.m., all the devotees do japa. So by chanting with the devotees who have a taste for chanting, you'll start noticing how something is awakening in your heart. You'll start appreciating japa more. You'll start having a taste for it. That's why Srila Prabhupada chanted rounds with devotees together, so that they would increase their taste in chanting. The indifferent chanter, try and pick a set number of rounds that you will do and do them. Whether that's 2 rounds a day, 4 rounds a day, do them and chant with absorption. For the people that are unaware of the necessity of chanting, all you have to do is read Srila Prabhupada's books and hear about why chanting is important. Hear about how chanting can change your life.
I'm fed from here to Alaska, and so on. I'm really, my body cannot digest any longer, but I need probably a diet, and I probably need exercise. So after having tried it many times, I found out my trainer, Ananda.
Yeah, in the early morning, beautiful Radhish castle. The kings of the castle of Radha Gopinath. The Hare Krishna devotees are extraordinary. Jai. Now for tip number 3. You have to chant in a mood of humility. First of all, knowing who you are. Are you this body? No. We're the spirit soul. Right? So you have to chant from a place of real knowledge. I'm a spirit soul. I'm part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is my master. And when you chant in this mood of humility, then you'll be able to connect to the names. So yeah, the third tip is really chanting with knowledge, with sambandha, with a connection to Krishna. And the fourth tip is chanting with feeling, chanting with a longing, with prayer, with a desire. Krishna, when will I see you? I am helpless without you. I am very sorry that I've turned away. So many lifetimes I've turned away from you. And now I'm finally turning towards you, Krishna. Please save me. Please accept me. When you chant with this longing, your chanting will be imbued. It'll become very powerful and focused. The whole point is we're trying to evoke the personality that's encoded, right, within the mantra. This is Krishna himself. And Krishna is non-different to his names. But these names, they work when you're really focused and you say it with feeling. And the last and fifth tip
is chanting with intention or sankalpa. Having a goal in mind every time you sit down to chant. Why are you doing this? What would you like to get from the holy name? You know, when you go in front of the holy name, when you go in front of Radhe Shyam, what are you asking for? So when you're sitting down, and you can make this very practical. When you sit down, your goal might be today, every syllable of the mantra that I chant, I will hear it. And then you start chanting and you just focus on that. Another day, you might think, while I chant the mantra, I will really focus on prayer. I will really focus on pouring my heart out to Krishna and asking him, Krishna, please accept me. So these are practical ways where you can have sankalpas every single day, every single session that you chant Hare Krishna.
Most of the progress, 90% of the progress you make in Bhakti Yoga, in Krishna Consciousness, is the quality of your chanting. Now there's one final question that we're going to address. How do we know that we're progressing? How do we know we're actually changing? How do we know we're advancing on this path of Bhakti? And it comes down to one thing. Is your heart changing? Are your desires changing? Do you hanker material pleasures? Do you hanker material sense gratification? So if you notice that your heart is changing, your desires are changing, then you will know whether you're progressing or not. Are you being kinder to the Vaishnavas? Are you being kinder to everybody, anybody that you meet in the streets, on the airports? Are you showing them love and kindness, developing a taste to hear about the Lord, spend time with devotees? Are you developing a mood of humility? These are all indicators that you are progressing or whether you're not progressing.
We will leave you with an inspiration. If change wasn't possible, butterflies would not exist. And this is a fact. Butterflies prove that change is possible. Many of us, we're still stuck where we are because we believe that change is not possible. It's not possible. I'm not going to be like Haridas Thakur. You know, I'm not going to be like these amazing pure devotees. I'm too fallen. Well, look at that little caterpillar. You know, how fallen does a caterpillar look? It's like a little entity and it's not very beautiful. And then suddenly it's in a cocoon. And then one day it becomes a beautiful butterfly. So change is very possible. Believe that. And once you believe that, then you will change.
Where your focus goes, that's where the energy flows. Srila Prabhupada says, this is a quote directly from him. He says, the more attentively and sincerely you chant the holy names of the Lord, the more spiritual progress you will make. That's a guarantee. And another small point that I'll leave you guys with, most of us are spiritually hungry. That's why we still look towards other things to satisfy ourselves. But the moment we actually start chanting the living name and not chanting empty names, if we actually start chanting with absorption and sincerity, you will no longer be harassed by your material desires, right? And that's a guarantee by the saints. So let's really value this fortune and let's become serious, sincere chanters. We're on this journey together. Hope this video has been helpful for you. We have so much more to share with you. It's a treasure house, guys. We've just started to open the treasure box. Thank you guys for listening in. Make sure you share this with others, share this treasure with others. The holy name is the only way, and we'll be back with more videos. If you have any comments or questions, please comment down below. And
Bhakti Bro Salute.
Salute.
I was 18 years old. I used to live in this room here in the castle, top of the castle. Wow. 10 years later. And back on the road. Always in airports, Ki Jai. After every few days, Ki Jai. Seva Ki Jai.